basically working on the same exact idea.
Co-founder.
Whereas he has a product somewhat to show and I don't. So, yeah, I thought we could just present together. We might actually end up working together. So basically the idea is that we want to create a service to make and receive recommendations from your friends, family, and tastemakers. I think we both strongly feel that recommendations deserve their own vertical. You can currently make recommendations on Twitter, on Facebook, text messages. That was sort of the quote unquote itch we were scratching. My buddy and I recommend things to friends and family all the time, and there's no way to keep track of that. There's also no way to find out whether they liked it or not. So we wanted to sort of create a centralized service to do that. And so if you go recommend a movie, over time they can, whether they liked it or not, whether they actually watched it. Maybe you can see supplemental information with it. That's the base idea. So my buddy and I, the other co-founder, we've been working on this for a little while, and we're looking for some technical help in helping us realize this. And then this gentleman, Jake. I'm Rory, by the way. Jake has been working on almost the same exact thing, and I'm not sure. Do we hit the projector? It's on. It's camera.
So this is just for what?
Oh, you need projector?
Any.
I think that, basically any semantically identifiable item. So a movie, book, it could be a car company, it could be a restaurant, it could be philosophy, it could be a historical person, athlete.
It could be which ride you ride at Disneyland.
Sure.
So what would you do? You would just write, for example, the name of the book, create it in the web page, and then you email it to your friends and recommend this, and then they can click on links and go to that web page.
I think we're both thinking more it would be a service where it's sort of self-contained. It would integrate obviously with Twitter and Facebook, but the idea is you would either send it out to your friends and followers, or you would maybe direct it to a friend specifically. So, my friend Dave, I want him to check out this band. I also want to know what he thinks of that recommendation. Over time, I can get value based on his response and maybe see how our interests line up.
So you got to work.
Cool.
It's going to be hard to see everything at once, but so this is just a mock-up for the page. That part's not built yet. The idea is you go to your digest and you get the recommendations, and you get it for just about anything. And you follow people and you follow topics. Kind of almost like Quora, if you want to think of it that way, where questions have topics, or in this case, list subtopics, and create lists for anything. So it could be, this could be affordable restaurants with amazing chefs, and then so if anyone you're following, if they add an item to that list, it shows up in your feed, and then it gets viral. The idea is if you like it, then it should, anyone who's following you, it shows up in their feed. Or if you don't like it, it stays there. Or even if you bookmark it, it shows up in their feed too, because if you're interested in it, then they're probably interested in it as well. The thing is, it's for anything. It's for music, it's for restaurants, for whatever. So you might start to realize that, you're, with my girlfriend's here, Jennifer, I like her taste in restaurants, but we tend to argue over music. So if you keep not liking what they're recommending, then it just takes them out of the feed, but only for music, not for restaurants. And it doesn't even be music. It could be certain types of music. Some music we like stand, which you can't stand like electronic. So anytime I would recommend something electronic, this wouldn't show up in your feed. Another thing it does is that it groups things. So if someone liked 7 different things on the list, instead of seeing 7 different items in a feed, it actually groups them together. Takes different reviews from different people. It could be multiple reviews from different people you're following. It would show those here. And then you could then ask other people for recommendations, or then you can go to the list and you can kind of dive into that world. And so that's the part that I think we have built. So here's a list just for rock bands. That's kind of it's loading, you know.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Well, I was curious, there's a lot of different applications or websites already that exist where I can do recommendations. Like on the wall, I can recommend a trip. I can put together a trip and then people can utilize it or not. Or on Last.fm, you can put together playlists and people can watch those playlists. Do you plan on bringing those into? So you're basically creating a gigantic recommendation source and people can become like experts in a specific field that you follow or whatever.
Yeah. And what I was thinking was that you can become influential in certain fields, and that's not just about followers, because you might have a bunch of followers because you're a celebrity or something, but you kind of crappy taste, and all your followers keep saying you don't like something. So I think even just everyday people kind of work their way up to where they become very influential in a certain area, which even ties into the revenue model, because instead of having marketers who actually, for instance, kind of a Groupon thing, if you're very influential for restaurants, and if you tend to say you like a restaurant, and people market and they go there, then marketers could actually give them a free, businesses could actually give them a free meal at a restaurant to try it out and see if they like it. And if they do, and if they do like it, then that'll be the kind of the word of mouth kind of trickle down system. So they don't have to give out a bunch of stuff to a bunch of people. They can target specifically the people that are actually influential on the people making decisions.
Quickly, is there like a service where it's opposite? So like say if I wanted to go watch a movie or whatever, and I don't know what to watch, and I can just look up all my friends that kind of recommended, oh, this movie's cool and that movie's cool. It kind of like condenses. It's like more research versus a whole list of cool stuff.
Sure.
Targeted.
I don't want the words in your mouth, but I think we both feel that it's not the type of service you're looking at every 30 seconds, every 60 seconds. It's not a constant feed. It's the type of service that has a very specific purpose of, I'm in the mood to listen to new music. So that's when you would go, see what you've been recommended, or see, what's relevant to you, or I'm ready to sit down and watch a movie, or I'm, in a store wanting to buy a new 6-pack of beer I've never tried before. Perhaps someone has recommended me some beer. That's the idea. Is that, yeah.